Hello chaps, I thought I'd do a bit of a rough and ready guide to taxiing, takeoff and trying to keep it in a straight line on landing. This is the LA5. It shares the same airframe as the Lag 3. Lag 3 is a horrible thing. This is a bit more lively with a big radial engine. We're going through the startup animation now. We're on the TAW server, Tactical Air War, which is quite a serious dogfight server with lots of stats, limited planes, so I don't want to get anyone's way, cause a crash or anything like that, so we'll be keeping a good lookout for other planes. Okay, we're open. We'll set ourselves up with the cow flaps, the oil cooler on this thing. It's quite a complex one actually. Cow flaps. Also I want to set 0, so cow flaps, let's bring them, it's that wheel on the right now. You want to close them really, they're quite a drag on performance, so we'll get them down to about 30% open. And also the oil radiator on this plane I've got linked to the inlet shutters on the front of the radial. I also want to set my altimeter to 0, that's very important. Let's just see if we can fiddle with it, look down. So you can see the altimeter, this is a low-lying airfield anyway, but there, right, okay, we're 0 from sea level, so we're ready to go. Prop pitch fully forward, rudder, brakes, throttle. You don't need the prop pitch at 100% really actually to taxi in some ways because it can get out of hand. It's all about a little and often and being gentle on the rudder and the throttle. That fire is the upwind end of the runway where we want to go to commence our roll, so we're going to have to taxi over to there. Brakes are working, so it's a combination of brakes, rudder, throttle. Here we go. It's not easy taxiing these things. Every plane is different. This thing seems to have a freewheel casting, tail wheel, bit of throttle applies, some brakes. I'm not it's a matter of reading up and practice, quite frankly. I'll get the lights on the instruments as well so we can see what's happening there. That's nice. Like I say, it's a combination of throttle and brakes and rudder. Nice and steady, that's fine. Doing it with the rudder at the moment. As you can see, there's a tendency obviously for these things to veer to the left because of the torque always, especially on takeoff. But I'm not, you can trim it out, but I'm going to leave the trim alone at the moment. You can do it all on the stick anyway. So I'm heading down to the fire. Like I say, it's a good idea if you're confused about where you are on an airfield, look at your heading, then bring up the main map and zoom in on the airfield. It will give you a layout of the runway. Now there's another fire down there, which means this is an L-shaped arrangement, this place. This airfield. My track R lately has been flipping out, so I beg your pardon for that. Quite annoying at the moment. I've got to sort that. Right, here we go, as you can see. I think I want to go right actually over there, but I've gone a bit too far. So we're going to turn the right. We need to go over there. We'll go over this rough bit of scrub anyway. So there's a fire down, that's the downwind end of that runway. I'm not going to taxi all the way down there to take off into the wind. I'm going to turn around to the right. Some of the two-engine stuff can get bogged down if you leave the taxiways. This is the Stalingrad map, so it's all flat step. Oh hum. Right. This is what annoys people, and some people will just floor the throttle, you know, firewall everything and take off straight away from their spawn point. Collide with other people, but we're going to do this properly. This is an active server, so I don't want to get shot down. I don't want to cause a collision with anyone who's using it. So we're just going to align ourselves on the runway before we settle down. Takeoff is fairly straightforward. We're looking for 200 kilometers on the speedo before we haul back on the stick. I'm going to use the rudder to keep it straight. We'll want to go naturally to the left, so we're going to compensate for that. And I'll bring the tail up with the stick forward. As we approach takeoff speed, I'll take off the rudder and keep use the aileron, usually a bit of left aileron down to keep it all steady just before we haul up. So I'll put the brakes on, put the throttle forward to spin up the CSU so we get a bit of traction. All clear. Okay, here we go. Brakes, brakes. Right, brakes on, throttle. There we go. You can see the CSU spin up and we're ready to go. Off with the brakes. Just keep increasing the throttle as you go ahead. You'll get more rudder authority, obviously. Full throttle. Now push down forward gently on the stick to bring the tail up. Here we go. Speed building to 150. Still using the rudder. We're going fairly straight. Okay. Aileron only. Pull back on the stick firmly, positively. We're in the end. Gear up. Around all clear. Now I'm going to show you what I use a standard circuit. So we're going to make a left-hand turn, a left-hand circuit to go downwind. I'm going to get up to 500 metres. We want to be doing 300 kilometres an hour. And we're all settled out in that configuration, and then we can turn into our final approach. So we're just climbing, turning. It's quite a lively thing on takeoff. So we're heading directly east on takeoff, so obviously I'm going to bring it round and head west. There is a lot of wind noise. I've never really noticed it before. I'm so used to it, but yeah, there certainly is a lot of cockpit noise. So nice height, no more climbing. I'm going to bring the throttle back. I've brought the prop pitch back. Like I say, this is our landing configuration. Just bring the heading round. Over on the left there, you can see the runway again. Okay, height's not too bad, speed a bit much. See what we're doing. I've put the prop pitch to 100% now because we want to concentrate on landing. It's going to be on the throttle as such. We're going to bring it round. So there it is on the left wing. Height and speed are good. I'm going to open the, turn it. Okay. Another check around, no one's going to shoot us down, not going to much way. I'm going to start the turn. It's going to be all about speed. Okay, height is good. Now, we could deploy the undercarriage at this speed now, 300, 250, that's a good speed. We'll just bring it around a bit more. Speed's building, throttle back a little bit. I'm going to put the gear down now. I think would be a good idea. We're looking good because I've got to concentrate on flaps as well. Gear down, 250. Yeah, a bit more throttle. You can hear the gear come down. So the speed's dropping, height is dropping. Let's get the flaps out. We'll just put them straight down fully. And I'm going to aim for the far end of the runway. Approach. Switch the lights off. We're going to watch the throttle. We want to cross the threshold at about 200. Speed and height flop down on these airframes quite quickly. Clear. Look, fine. Concentrate on the speed. We're okay. We're okay. And we'll keep it straight on the runway. It's a nice approach. A bit too slow in a way because, like I say, it's going to drop off slow quite suddenly when I close the throttle. Stick back, stick back. Quite low speed for this landing. A bit higher, and that's it. Okay, now I'm going to just let it run. Tiny bit of throttle, just to keep it in a straight line. Just let the speed drop right down before I touch the brakes. This is the problem. Very, very nice. Bit of rudder to keep it on a gentle straight line. Now that's it. Okay. Lovely. Right, I'm going to open the shutters again. Let's just get the props. Yeah, flaps up. Everything looking good. And we're going to turn it around and we'll probably go to the tower. Let's have a quick look where we are. Yeah, I'll bring it back there and switch off. So I want to get clear of the runway. And yeah, now let's turn it round. Throttle and rudder. Here we go. Quite simple. Prop pitch up again gently. Again, don't want to wildly lose control. We'll just get it. This is you know, it's getting over that initial bit of momentum to get it rolling. We'll bring it round. You do get a audible indication of the brakes when you're using squeaking. And let's head for the tower. We'll turn it round and switch off when we're done. Practice. It's just practice, really. And of course each plane is variable. The German stuff, well, I'll do another one of that. The easiest planes to land in the sim, in my opinion, are the FW190 and the Spitfire. Because the flaps are preset basically. Just keep your speeds correct and you can't really go wrong. It's more a problem dropping, getting too low a speed is more a problem. We'll just turn it around now and I'll kill the engine, and that's that. Hope you enjoyed this. Talk about amateur hour. And switch off, brakes, lovely chaps.